structure to this damn
guys, we're just
podcast.
We're like just spitballing. We're just talking.
I've had a lot of coffee
Two
today.
girls having a good chat.
Into my eyes.
Guys, eyes don't age, so what do you think of mine?
What do you think of mine? This is embarrassing for us.
That's my man.
I'm like,
You fancy
she's
my
trying.
man?
Oh, you fancy
He's
my
coming.
man? Oh, me
my
too.
man, he's coming home with me, so you can try it on all you want.
But he wants me.
That's my man.
Honestly,
and he's
that's
hot.
And he's hot. I love that.
Nearly knocked it off the thing. Hello!
Hi,
Welcome
hello.
back to SisTea.
Welcome back, SisTea.
First of all, I feel like we need to apologise for those watching on YouTube because I've just been to the gym and trained very hard. I feel dead, hence why I'm in my gym top.
gear.
I came straight from the gym and you have glandular fever.
I have glandular fever.
Hey!
Yeah.
So neither of us are looking great, feeling great, but you know what? We're
Literally.
here for it. Look at like the kinks in my hair. I need to. It's hair wash day as well.
Actually, you
lot.
know what I did yesterday? I did the whole like the castor oil and the coconut oil, and I must
So
say,
good. Girls,
it does work.
if you don't use castor oil, it grows your hair so much and like helps your hair and lashes and everything. So I do a castor oil treatment once a week. I literally bathe my hair in castor oil and literally like slick it back in like a pony for like I used to sleep in it, but then I feel like that's not good for your skin.
Yeah.
So it's in the morning and then in the evening wash it all out and do that a couple of times. Girls, try and tell me that it's not made a difference.
Try and tell me that it doesn't work, and then I put
So,
coconut
I've got,
oil because
like-
my hair's really dry. Because I haven't been to the hairdressers in a really long time. But the men watching this are like, I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck.
I don't
really.
care, but no, my lashes are so long as well because I can't get lash extensions at the moment. And like, I'm not even, I had little like stubs before, so I'm just like, I'm just trying to show you all. Honestly.
But I feel that whenever you get lash extensions and then you take them off, you're like, oh my god, I am an actual man. Like, what is wrong with
I was
my
gonna say,
eyes?
that's what you used to say, lashes damage. I was like, actually, I'm gonna stop you there.
No, they're not
I'm
damaged.
a lash tech.
You just feel like they're like,
I would
you
never
have
damage.
nothing.
I would never damage
your
anyone's
lashes.
natural lashes.
I would never do that. Sorry, everyone.
Sorry for the long intro.
Cosmetics with tills and hats. So today's episode, God, I forgot we were recording a podcast. Just a daily chat.
I'm just trying to help you out.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about dating versus dick surfing, right? The different kind of mindsets depending on what you want to do. And then we're going to talk about the non-negotiable traits and what we kind of expect from both men and women and how those differ. And yeah, we're just going to kind of delve into those kind of traits.
From there, we've got a couple more like
little points that we
that leads in.
sprinkle
Yeah,
in.
so we're not going to give too much away.
We're not going to give too much away. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
We're going
it's
to
a
give
good
a little
episode.
teaser because where's the fun in
Where's
just
the fun in
exposing
that?
everything? Do you know what I mean? You've got to show a little and give a little, you know.
Show a little, give a little. Anyway, so
boil the kettle, grab some biscuits,
and let's get down to the tea.
Look, Brooklyn in the background. Love that so
Miss
much.
Lynn.
Everyone at Anchor's like, who is that? Brooklyn in the background. That's a city.
I feel like you should I feel like you should watch it listen to it on Spotify and then watch it back on YouTube. Do you not think?
Because yeah, honestly, I think it's a different experience completely. It's
Yeah.
like you're in the room with us.
You need to double whammy it because I always feel like though when you first listen to something, you don't take it all in. It's like when you watch a movie and you watch it again, you're like, I missed that. So guys, I'm not being funny. You should
not being funny. You should double it up. I'm not being funny. I'm not just saying this because it's our podcast. I'm not just saying that. I'm saying it because it's just so good.
I'm just trying to give like good advice to you all.
I'm just trying to get the views up, hey?
God, this hurting.
Content creation.
Right, so
dating
versus dick surfing.
I feel like
we don't necessarily mean like hopping on, hopping off kind of thing. We just kind of mean a roster, but it's a good way of kind of saying it.
I just thought it was a great play on words, you know. Is it
alliteration?
Yes. If that is
English
wrong,
A-level.
English lit A-level, and I still...
I did English lit lang. I don't even think that's a thing anymore.
All right, we get it. You're educating them. Lit lang. To be fair, it sounds better, no?
Lit lang.
So I feel like my mindset has kind of changed on it a little bit. Because before I was kind of like...
Go back a couple of episodes till he's like, roster this, roster
like,
that.
roster for life.
Who is she? Have I ramped up on you a bit? Maybe it's the age, maybe it's me.
Maybe it's the age. I'm not even 20 yet. Like, I haven't even...
20 in like 2 weeks,
I'm
isn't it?
20 on June 5th, guys, so...
If you want to send some stuff to her.
If you want to send a present, I'm not gonna say no.
I'm not gonna give out my address. So how is this gonna work?
We can like set a drop-off point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set off a drop-off point, okay, guys? And I'll let you
I'll
know.
send you my location.
And if you want to treat me, by all means, I'm not
ahead.
gonna say. If you want to send money through Cash App, honestly, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not gonna complain about it. So, yeah, I feel like your mindset has to be. I feel like a roster is great. I think that multiple dating is a great concept, but I think if you actually want to get into a relationship, if you refer back to Bernie's podcast with Queen Bee, was she seeing anyone else at the point? You know, at that point, was she kind of dating Dad, but also seeing Richard and Roger and can't think of another name, right?
Yeah.
No, she wasn't.
I can get where she's coming from because when there's definitely a difference in terms of like how I've dated. So I've dated people with the mindset of like, I'm kind of into you, but I don't know if I'm feeling this. And at this point, maybe I would go on a date with maybe another person or, you know, whatever. If I really like someone we've been talking, then yes, I might loosely speak to other people just kind of there that maybe I've spoken to in the past.
Because I'm bored.
But I wouldn't actually date anyone else. That's the big difference. I feel like I know when I know if I really like someone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that this whole narrative, I think it's great in a sense, you know, the hot girl summer narrative is honestly great, but I think a lot of people interpret that as though, you know, you're going to sleep around with everyone. It's not about that. It's
No,
just
you don't
doing,
have to.
it's
If you want
literally doing you. But I feel like if you actually want to get in a serious relationship, I don't think the roster is the best way forward because it just gets complicated.
Yeah.
And like before, and maybe that's why I haven't had any success in it, because I've always been talking to other people and people are like, but why, if I'm good enough for you, then why are you talking to other people? Why do you need that kind of validation from other people? Why
It's
do
not
you
even
need
about that. It's just keeping your options open because I feel like a lot of the time you think someone wants something or you think someone's mindset is like tunnel vision and they just want you, but sometimes it turns out that that's not the case.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like, well, I've kind of, not say binned off someone else, but I've kind of chosen your time or to put my time into you over them, and now I feel a bit silly because if I pop back up to them, is that gonna look... Do you know what I mean? But everyone, they always come back.
They always come
Let
back.
me tell you.
They always come back. If they're worthwhile, they will come back. But what I will say is I do think it is a bit of a defense mechanism because I know myself, I will talk to other people like to avoid catching emotions for one person.
Is that what it is, do you think?
For me, it definitely is. This is just my personal experience, and I
think I
that,
do it to keep my options open.
Exactly, keep your options open so that you're not falling too quickly for someone. That's my perspective on it, and I think that at the end of the day, life is not all smooth sailing. Dating isn't about like...
Dating,
no, it's
can we
not
just
all-
admit, guys, dating isn't easy.
It is not easy. You're going to get hurt and you just have to kind of accept that and you have to move the fuck on. You honestly do. You have to dust yourself out. If it doesn't work, at least you tried. At least you put your all into it.
You know what
at
makes
least
me sad though is
What?
that I see the amount of people on like TikTok or whatever like literally crying into like their phone being like, I physically can't do this anymore. I can't go through one more talking stage. I can't do this. I can't like, and as well I think as a woman, sex is very an emotional thing, and finding someone new to have like an intimate relationship with is very daunting, and it is very like I think we're quite
tiring,
conscious
man.
as well, being
It
like,
is
I don't want my
tiring.
numbers to go up, I don't want to do this, and like it's
No.
very, you know, granted it's not like that for everyone, but for someone like, I think for us, like it is quite a big thing. So when obviously something doesn't work out, especially if you've been like messed around,
I'm like, honestly, at this point, like, maybe it's the glandular fever. I don't know. I don't
She's
know how
so
many times.
emotional.
I don't know how many. I'm just so emotional. I'm just tired. I was like saying
I'm
this.
tired.
I'm fucking tired. Like I was saying this to Mum the other day. I was like, I just have like I think I'm lit. Listen, like I do, and everyone knows that. And I'm just like, I'm just tired of dating. I'm tired of getting to know new people. I just want something to work. And Mum's like, and I get it. Like I'm 19. Like it shouldn't. Like I shouldn't be in such a rush. But it is tiring.
No,
these days
we're not
because
saying
the
it's
same-
a rush. We're like, you know what? Maybe I need to put my time somewhere else and prioritize. I don't know, like prioritize my time with something completely different rather than dating. And I feel like a lot of people say it just kind of happens. Like when they're with someone, they're like, I didn't expect it. It just fell into place. So maybe this is a red flag, guys. Is if you feel like you're investing a lot of your time into someone and you're exhausted from it, or maybe you're not feeling your best self. Like, do you remember that guy I said I was seeing, and I felt anxious. I felt like he made me feel so on edge because he was so up and down, and like blame me for like certain things that he was going through.
Like that's your reflecting,
and that was exhausting. That was exhausting, and I remember draining. Like although when it ended I was upset, I kind of felt like, well, and I wanted to like I actually wanted to message him and be like, this is how you made me feel, like just for future reference, and like I don't think it was. It wasn't very fair kind of thing, but I wish you well.
And I think a lot of the time
I wish you well.
We like accept
sorry.
We kind of accept, you know, people making us feel worse, but why are we settling for, you know, people that don't make us feel good? Surely if you want to get into a relationship,
it should just be easy.
It should be easy. Granted, you will go through hard times, but at the beginning it shouldn't be hard. And I think that mindset phase. Of not like, granted, you should put yourself out there. We're not saying
put effort in, but the effort should be.
Let's dress up.
Yeah, but it's like the effort should be like, let's dress up tonight and like make an effort. Although I've just finished work, I'm a bit tired. I kind of want to see this person. I'm gonna put a nice pair of jeans on, and I'm gonna go out because I want to make the effort to see this person. Not being like, I need to text you, I need to call you, I need to do this like 24/7, and like, I feel like that's where I think a lot of us kind of go wrong. This is where I've gone wrong, 100%.
Make yourself the choice and not just an option. Do you know what I mean?
So I think you need to establish that from the start. But then I feel like we come across the wrong way when we say to a guy, listen, I ain't an option. Like if you've got other things going on, count me out. And then they see us as like being this like, I don't know, stuck up, like this, like, oh, don't deep it, like we've not even like been dating yet. But I'm like, well, no,
it's
I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you.
The respect. I want someone that wants me. I want
reply to that girl that's popped up to your Insta story. That's fine, but don't be going dating her.
Yeah,
like I know it's not deep yet, but fuck me.
See, this is what I was talking about earlier as well. Just going back on one point and then going forward on another. Sorry. My head is all. Everyone's like, there is no.
This is such a good episode.
There is no structure to this damn.
But guys, we're just
podcast.
We're like just spitballing. We're just talking.
I've had a lot of coffee
today. Two girls having a good chat.
So I think with dating, we need to stop trying so hard. We need to let things like, granted, put yourself out there, because if you're not in the game, how are you gonna win it, right? But I'm trying to. It's like the lottery, hey? And maybe you're
gonna win the lottery?
Are you gonna win the lottery?
Feels like this at this point. Like
I'm
just as likely to win the lottery as I am to win myself a good man.
Eligible partner.
Eligible.
I
was gonna say an easy partner.
An easy partner.
I want you to be easy. I want you to be like it to be easy, not you.
Exactly.
Remember that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want you to be
an easy man who just gives.
I do like the chase a little bit. Sometimes I'm like, oh, he's playing hard to get, but not too hard to get. Yeah. See, this is why we're so difficult. We're like, I want him to be hard to get, but I also don't want him to be too hard to get.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, I want him to be difficult, but not like too
I want
difficult.
it to be easy and just flow, but I also want the chase.
I want him to, like, other girls flocking around him, but I don't want too many.
I love that. I've always said that people think I'm weird for that, right?
No, I
like jealousy. I'm like, that's my man.
I'm like,
if another girl comes up to my guy at the bar, like, say if I'm like stood back a bit and like he's at the bar, and I'm stood there and I'm like, that's my man.
I'm like,
you fancy my
man?
man?
Oh, you fancy my man?
Oh, my man, he's coming home with me, so you can try it on all you want.
But he wants me.
That's my man.
Honestly,
and he's hot.
And he's hot. I love that. But then, okay, and then we were kind of talking. This is something that I was bringing up earlier, where I'm saying, it doesn't matter. Sorry, everyone's gonna be like, literally, you make no sense.
They're gonna be like,
they're gonna be like, what? Like, this podcast is just a headache sometimes.
No,
but
you guys love us. Come on.
How could you not? But about the whole kind of dating and serial dating thing, I feel like at the moment it is a lot more acceptable for men and boys because they've been taught that and they've been conditioned that way. Because, for example,
boys will be boys.
Why a girl? Why
don't girls will be girls?
What, like,
but I feel like that is tarnished. Like it's like, oh, she's a psycho. Oh, girls
will be girls. Like, no,
like
you actually made a psycho. Yeah, no. Well, I think we are pretty chilled.
I'm so laid back. I'm almost sideways.
But I'm almost horizontal at this point.
I'm a bit psycho.
But again, I don't think we've met someone that's really made us that psycho. It's definitely, guys, if you have an ex and you call them a psycho, I'm sorry, but you have made her a psycho. It is you, not her. But what I'm trying to say is, I feel like men are conditioned to not, like, it's more acceptable for them to cheat in some sense, because there's always like the excuse of, you know, he's just going through that phase at like his early 20s where he'll settle down. He's not ready to settle down. He just needs to get it out of his system. Why is that not the same for girls though?
I feel like it is going more that way a little bit, but it's still like...
But there's still a stigma. If a girl has a certain amount, like as we've said before about body count, I do think men say, oh no, it doesn't matter. But if I told
rocked up and was just like, I've slept with over 100 people, they'd be like, oh my god, what a slag, like, you know, so what is it, loose? Do you know what I mean? Like, it, like you would feel a type of way about it, but with a guy, like, it's not the same thing. It's like, oh, he did cheat, but we're gonna take him back, because boys will be boys. You know, they're literally conditioned from a young age to constantly, like, their actions don't have the same sort of consequences, I believe. I feel like with girls, we are more accountable. Like, we're made to account. What's the account? I can't think. You're something to account. You're held to account. There we go. So held to account?
Yeah, held to account for your accent.
Heard or held?
Held to
account. Oh, held. I thought it should held, then I thought it should heard. I was like, oh, held.
Guys,
with a D.
Honestly, my brain right now is just, it's
just scrambled. Maybe I should just take over.
I'm scrambled.
Me in Brooklyn.
I'm like fucking eggs in the morning.
You're eggs in the morning.
Yeah, so I feel like we have to consider things a lot more and overthink. And a lot of men are like, oh, why'd you deep this so much? Why'd you overthink a thing? Because we've always been taught to. Whereas boys, I feel like, you know, your mistakes aren't always like, people just accept them. It's
I want to call you out on them.
I'm gonna start calling it, yo, if you, I'm not
all
gonna say
my
boys
male
boys,
friends,
I'm gonna hold you accountable. So I just feel like that.
That's how that works.
That
confrontation.
Confrontation.
We can't coincide today.
We cannot coincide.
It's the glandular fever.
It's the glandular fever. You know what? That's gonna be my excuse. Every time I'm not on point, even when
3 years down the line, you're gonna be like, oh,
it was the glandular fever.
In
it
May
messed
21.
me up that much. Okay, so I tried to do a little segue, but it really didn't work. So we're just gonna say this is part 2, and everyone's gonna be like, hold up.
I think I got rice cake in my teeth.
That's quite fit. If anyone's ever tried the rice cakes from Pret, would recommend.
Dark chocolate. I was fancying chocolate, but because I know I've got a weekend of debauchery ahead of me, I was like, be a bit healthier, kind of thing. Don't actually get chocolate. But to be fair, sorry, I was reading a Lash message. Probably same, like, it's probably more calories in it, but you know.
But to be fair, we love the chocolate rice cakes. I do not care.
But past the point of caring. If you don't like me for the way I am, then you're gonna have to get gone.
Then that's your personal problem.
That's
because
your problem.
I personally love me. Why can I not sit still? I don't really know. So the next section that I kind of introduced in the beginning was about kind of non-negotiable traits. And so I was listening to this podcast called The Roommates Podcast, which is all about... Shout out! To be fair, they're never going to watch this. But if they do, they are. But I've been, like, the hosts are all about kind of helping men level up, right? But they do talk a lot about expectations for women and the kind of traits in women that men should look for, and also the traits that men should adopt in order to be more desirable for women, right? So, and I was this is a point that was kind of brought up that really made me think, like, that is kind of true. So, is it more socially acceptable for women to state their expectations for men than the other way around? I feel like a lot of the time, like, especially as we are very guilty of this, we'll be like, I want a man that's like 6 foot and this amount is driven, blah blah blah, right? And we're very kind of focused on, we're like unapologetic in our kind of expression of what we want in a man. But I feel like if it was the other way round sometimes, like a lot of men want a girl to have a certain physique and have because a lot of the time, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, ladies, men are driven by what they see, and then eventually it goes into personality, but they do have certain expectations on looks.
I think a lot of the time men have this idea of what they want, but they end up with something completely different. I really do. Not gonna lie.
100%.
Because yes, they might be attracted to someone or something initially, but it'll be someone who, I think men obviously want someone who, I don't know, like, who's caring, looks after them. I think I think initially they definitely like a woman who's very independent. This is what guys always said kind of like about me, is that I am very independent, and like I get on with things myself. You know, I'm self-employed, I do my own thing. A lot of the time I need my space, and they're like, obviously they respect that obviously I'm not a very needy person. I feel like that is an initial attraction, but I think actually after a while they don't actually like, I think men want to be wanted and needed, and need someone to kind of like, I don't know.
No, this is a lot of the points that they bring up, and I think, I don't know if we're socially conditioned to be this way, or if it's genuinely like, as you know, heteronormative kind of, is that the right word? Or heteronormative? I don't know. Sorry if I got that wrong. Add it to the dictionary. But I feel like, especially for cisgender people that go, like, have more traditional kind of roles in relationships, I feel like men often want to be the providers and women kind of the nurturers and the nurturers of the relationships. And as much as men say, I think women think that men often do want an independent woman, but a lot of the time these men want someone that's not a simp, but someone that's going to provide that nurturing kind of aspect. Like, they were talking,
I think kind of comes along later in life. Like, I don't feel like I necessarily have that in me at the moment.
No.
I think like I said before, I am very independent, and like, although I think in a relationship I am quite caring, I don't think I'm there, if that makes sense. I don't think I'm all there. I don't think I'm the most like emotional. I don't really compliment people enough and things like that. And maybe I don't split my time enough. And I don't know.
I know, but you're not really looking to get married.
This is what I mean. It's not come through yet for me, obviously. But maybe it's just not the right person. But I'm very good. Like, I'll always like I said, I'll always pay my way. I'll never let a man like treat me. Maybe that's good at first when you're dating someone, but in a relationship, is that not?
But they were saying that that's a very masculine kind of trait, and if you're looking for like these men, because they were like, this is not really what a lot of men want. Okay, maybe this is a generalization.
Coming from a man,
as I said.
So that's come from a man.
Yes, it has, and he's saying this is not really what
you can look after me if you want.
Yeah, but exactly, and he was saying about the fact that
job.
So basically,
lash ladies, my lash gals, don't worry, I'm not doing that.
I
would never.
But it's like, for women, like, for example, let's say you earn 500,000 like dollars or years,
pounds,
whatever,
euros,
who cares?
Whatever you want to call it.
And he only earns 50,000, right? You, a lot of the time, would expect him to level up and reach you, but men don't feel the same way. They don't feel that you'd have to level up in that sense.
Earning the same amount.
They don't feel that, like, that's not a pressure for them. Because for women, seeing a man that's like a baller, financially stable, like at the top of his game, is attractive, and that's what they want.
Yeah.
Whereas for men, that's not their desire for a woman. They want someone that's nurturing. They do want someone that's attractive and that looks after themselves.
For me, if he was, say, on a lot lower wage than me, but he had this drive to be successful and had this idea and this and that,
but yeah, exactly, that would mean nothing. Him to level up, though. You expect him to eventually level up.
Yeah, if he was a bum, though, yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. But you want him to get to that level, that same level as you, or at least earn a similar amount as you.
Not necessarily. As long as they were happy and they wanted to be successful in what they were doing, and they were driven and they were happy and they were making other people happy in what they were doing, and then I don't personally think I would mind so much, because I'm like, well, I can look after myself and I've got my thing. But then comes into another topic of like, well, at that point, would you share a bank account with them? That's where I'd be like, hell no.
Exactly, but like, for example, if it was the other way around, like if you were dating someone and he was earning a lot more than you, and
if he
said that he didn't want to have a joint bank account with you, surely that would make you feel a certain type of way, because finance and financial stability for women is more of a non-negotiable.
Not necessarily, because I'd be like, as long as, I'm not saying some of it's going on me, I'm not expecting the designer this, designer that, whatever. But as long as you're thinking like, well, we're going on a holiday, and if, say, he wants to go somewhere that's out of my budget, if he wants to cover the rest because he can, great. Do you know what I mean? It'd be more like that. It'd be like, well, I kind of expect you to kind of, if you want to do something that I can't afford, and you really want to do it, then you're going to have to cover me, kind of thing. But
yeah, and I don't think they're denying that. It's just, when you switch the roles and really challenge it, it's like, is that like a societal thing? Like these masculine traits of wanting to be the provider and having that pressure, and our own feminine traits of wanting to be looked after and cared for financially. Is that society that's pushing us to think that way?
Or
are we
within?
Actually, because obviously we know the whole hunter-gatherer kind of thing, where it's like men would go out and, hunt, and women would stay and be kind of the carers. And it's like, but should that be something that we look back on and take that as a model of how we are as humans, and how as the different sexes that's how we naturally are? Or are we just conditioned that way and have not tried to challenge the status quo? Because you do have relationships where the men are staying at home, right, and are more feminine, but I feel like the majority of cisgendered relationships, right, the man is the breadwinner and the woman often is expected to kind of,
I think because of biology, because a lot of the time, if a woman is to go off and have a baby, biologically and physically, she has to have time off.
She has to make that sacrifice
to recover within herself and her body, because naturally, like, it does take time. So yeah, that makes sense. It's a hard one, isn't it? It's a hard one.
But then it's also about like kind of parenting. Like, I don't know. In the podcast, this woman was explaining how she desires that independence and to always have that stability and not have to rely on anyone. And he was like, but where has that come from? And she's like, she has a fear of, kind of being, like left, and she'd always want that backing, her financial backing.
I completely get that, because I'm the same.
But it's like, but he was saying, but why do you have that fear? Why does that fear come from?
Being left.
Yeah.
Because it
happens a lot
in life. Yeah.
And I was thinking, things don't always work out. I probably butchered exactly. You should, honestly, I would recommend like watching the full, because it was all about why strong, independent women are kind of like undateable, which
great.
I was like, right, well, that makes sense.
This cat over here.
That honestly, that does make sense, because I'm strong and independent. It makes sense why I'm undateable. There we go. All makes sense.
Each episode we're finding out
you're
more
intimidated
and more.
By me. Oh,
I knew it wasn't really
I'm
me.
too successful.
You don't like that I'm too successful.
Yeah. So, and I also feel like they were saying that independent women versus independent men. We're attracted to the more independent man who earns his money in six figures. We're attracted to the provider, and that causes us to, like, what was I going to say? We're attracted to the provider, and we tend to let that person provide because we don't want them to leave us. So then we kind of naturally fall into that kind of nurturing, kind of stay-at-home role, because we are attracted, like, and again, I don't know if this is because of society or because of human nature, to the provider. And I just think that that's definitely, I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on this, whether you think that is within us, ingrained within us, or if it's literally because no one has tried to challenge the status quo. But it's also like, would you go out with someone, like a man that displays quite feminine traits?
Oh God, this is so awful. I'm gonna be butchered on the internet.
No. It's your like, there is nothing wrong with dating a man who is more feminine. But what I'm saying is,
because
you personally,
I'm quite not manly myself in terms of like the way, but I do like kind of like,
you are quite dominant.
Yeah, it'd be like if he wanted to go to the ballet or the rugby, like, do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like,
Ballet dances are very strong.
I'd be going to watch sports. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to, like, I'm just completely different. Like the theatre or going to the pub. So for me,
but like, what he was saying is, then how can you expect a high level man to want you if you're showing these like traditionally masculine traits of being very independent and not really wanting to rely on anyone and earning your six figures, if you yourself wouldn't want a more feminine man? So like, these high level men, they don't want a woman that shows these masculine traits. They kind of want a woman to be more traditional, and it's a difficult one, and I'm not suggesting that is right at all. I don't want to get butchered by people saying, oh well, I can be independent, who cares if a man doesn't want me. I'm not saying this. I'm just saying a lot of the time in dating, that could be potentially why.
But don't change for anyone. I'm just gonna say that.
No, do you first.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that perhaps this is the problem with society. We're not willing to kind of let go of gender norms a little bit, and see maybe a woman as more masculine or a man as more feminine.
Or it's maybe on the male side a little bit more dumb.
Yeah.
Women, is this why we're struggling so much, maybe? I'd also like men's input on this. So obviously for the boys that watch this podcast, what we've just spoken about, is this true? Is this... Because I think we might have cracked something here.
Like, are you intimidated by a strong, independent woman? Would you see that woman as a wife?
Do you want me to stop ordering beer?
Is that it? There we go. We've cracked it.
Should I be getting
cracked
the pinkest rosé that they have, and then like a porn star martini on the side? Is that where I'm going wrong?
I do love a pink rosé though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even trying to be a little,
So speaking of traits that maybe females don't like, so I was having a little chat with my mate, and
oh no,
oops. I was having a little chat with my mate, and we were just saying about how when a guy, it's good when a guy is obviously like close to his like family and things like that. Obviously you want like a family man, someone that obviously respects, especially the women in their family. And it's nice to have a guy that's obviously close to his family. But when a guy's a little mummy's boy, or like his mum's like obsessed with him, or like really close to his sibling.
It's weird. You know what? I heard something that was that someone was talking about, the fact that a lot of the time these mothers are absolutely obsessed with their children, their boys particularly, their sons, because they've made them into the perfect man, right? Yeah. And
I need to call your mum and let them know that actually your little boy
is not perfect.
He's been saying naughty things to me. He's not been respectful to me.
He's not been very respectful, but that's why they have like this obsession with their sons.
Do you know what I think?
They're the men that they've made them into the men that they kind of maybe wish they had known or something.
Have you noticed though, especially when you say to a guy, the way you treated me, how would you feel if someone treated your mum or your sister in that way? And they're like, rah, like, fuck it, like they go for it, and they get so defensive.
So angry.
But
and
because you know you're wrong.
Because you know you're in the wrong, because you know you treated me like shit. You know it.
And you'd never want anyone to disrespect someone that you love in that way.
Legit. So
sometimes I feel like, boys, check yourself. Like, do you really want... Oh my God, my tattoo. Sorry, it's got any tattoo, guys. I've just got my bra strap on it.
Ooh.
A sports bra.
Ooh.
Get up.
Oh. Get up!
Get up!
Get up!
Nah!
Like,
a bit better.
literally, you are so random on this podcast. I cannot follow it. But basically, one of the traits that we really hate is when it's great to be close with your mum.
Because we are so close as a family. We really are. Like, we get drunk together, we do family brunch, things and that. But, like, my dad and mum will call me out when I'm wrong, or they don't smother me or anything like that. It's not weird. It's not some, like, Freudian kind of, like, relationship at all. Whilst I've actually been with people who's, like, so...
It's like you are literally dating your mum.
Can't hear that. His mum was obsessed with him.
And it's just like...
Like, obsessed.
And it's like...
And, like, the way their relationship...
It's just sometimes it's a bit too close.
Yeah.
And talking on independent women and independent men, this is how it links to the last part, guys. I couldn't figure out the segue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're coddled so much by your mum and she does everything for you, I think that is the most unattractive thing. If you don't know, like, it's when you go into men's houses and they're not, like, clean or haven't washed their sheets and, like,
have you ever been round to a man's house who's
crispy towel?
I was going to say skiddies in the toilet.
It's like,
you know
I
I'm
was
coming
around. But men don't. Okay, this is a generalization. Like,
it's not everyone. Don't come for us, men.
Care. And I just can't understand that. You know I'm coming round. Like, I have showered, I have shaved. If a man ever came round to my house, which they're not anymore because I do not want anyone to know where I live, right? I've already said that in a previous comment. You will not know my last name. To be fair, you do. But, like, I will make sure that the entire room is, like, the house is clean. Like, I've hoovered, I've washed. Not to be, like, show, like, oh, I'm such a housewife.
It's just
like,
etiquette. You want them to come into your house and feel comfortable.
I can look after myself. Like, I am a competent being. Like, I can live independently. Whereas if you see a man that's just got, like, as you say, skid marks in the toilet, the pants are, like, on the lamp, like, their sheets have not been, washed, and, their towels are crispy and they only own one towel. Like, it's like, I would, from that point on, I would know, first of all, you were mollycoddled from a young age, and you have knockouts. Like, your mum's not gonna, unfortunately, your mum's not gonna be there forever. You need to learn how to clean up after you. That's embarrassing.
But I quite like doing a wash.
Huh?
If a guy was like, oh, I need to do some washing, I'll be like, I'll stick
it. No, I don't mind it.
I don't mind
what
doing
I'm
a wash.
saying is,
I
like,
love it. If I've got all my bits,
you have to know how to. They still have to know how to do it themselves, because you're not going to be there all the flipping time.
But I can't iron, so
I can't. If
Dad
I do the
goes
washing,
for me. Dad's like, well, I can't believe you don't know how to iron and this and that. And I'm like, I just get my straighteners on it, and I'm like, oh, good.
But at the end of the day, I say to, like, if mum and dad complain about anything that I'm not very good at, like, because I'm not great at ironing. I'm learning.
Because
I'm
like, have to iron
stuff. You haven't taught me to do it. So.
I hang it in the shower, and the heat.
It works. The steam works. That is a life hack. You hang if you need something to be ironed, right, and can't really be bothered to do it, have a hot shower, and then, the creases will come out because of the steam.
Hot water, hot shower.
So you're welcome for that life hack. SisTea always providing more and more content. It's not just dating advice, guys.
It's life advice.
Life advice. I just think that is the most unattractive trait.
Yeah.
And, like, granted, they might not think, okay, men are not conditioned to kind of be like the housewives and everything, but I think a certain level of personal hygiene, especially your environment, like, you're living, how can you live in mess? And granted, not everyone is clean.
I feel dirty.
Like, honestly,
if I've not hoovered or something in, like, a week, I'm like, my room, because obviously my extensions are just like shed. I feel disgusting, and I honestly get to the point where, like, me and Hannah will sit there, we're like, we just can't even sit in our own flat. Like, it feels gross. So I think hygiene is like especially if you keep yourself
attracted. Like, there is nothing I like. Okay, there are other things I value in men, obviously, but one of the really, like, big things that I'm like, that could make me, like, want you more is if you have good personal hygiene, if you care about yourself, if you care about, I'm not saying have a full on, like, mask every, like, day and, like, paint your nails or whatever. No,
Manicure. Oh god, when a guy's got long nails,
that is disgusting.
I wouldn't even go near you. Long toenails. Oh my god.
With anyone, I don't.
My ex I used to have to cut his toehails because I'd literally be like, your fucking toes.
I really have to love you to
cutting me in our sleep. Oh my god, I've got the ick. I'm getting so annoyed.
No, that is actually disgusting. But I'm saying have a little self-care. Like, buy yourself a nice like perfume. Dress yourself nicely. Take care of your environment and the space in which you live. Like, that is so
And your car.
attractive. When a man is like, yeah, you know,
Been in a dirty car before?
disgusting.
You step in, you're like...
And I'm like, I literally, like, I need to have a shower after being in your proximity because you're just disgusting. Like, I think that a lot of men think it's quite a feminine trait to be like, yeah, I moisturize or I put SPF.
You should moisturise. You should use SPF.
Why do you want to be crispy?
Ah.
Why do you actually want to be dusty? Why do you want to
Yeah.
be a dusty man? I don't understand it. Like, why? Like, no. Like, I think that is so attractive. When a man takes care of himself, it means that he cares about... Not. I don't want him to care about what everyone thinks all the time.
I don't want you to be in the
but I
mirror all
want-
the time, like...
Oh my god, that bit. See,
There's a
there's a
level,
fine line.
yeah.
But I imagine men don't. Like, men want women to take care of their
Yeah.
appearance. But
Men
it's like,
don't
I
as
don't
well.
think they want someone that's constantly like looking at themselves and, you know, caring about what everyone thinks. Sometimes you just gotta accept that you're gonna look shit some days.
Yeah.
Like, there are definitely some days where I'm like, wow, I literally look like a rat.
But I've got to get up and I've got to
But
get
I gotta
myself
get
to the
out.
shops
I
real
gotta
quick.
get to the shops. I gotta get on with my day. I've
Go
just
to the
gotta get.
gym.
I've gotta go to the gym, and that's just how it is. Sometimes my skin breaks out, and I just gotta accept that it is what it is. But it doesn't mean that I'm not looking after myself. That's just life. Sometimes we gotta rush out the house. Sometimes that just has to happen.
Yeah.
But I think a certain amount of self-care is so attractive, and if you care about yourself, you know, like. For example, I care about myself, so I expect my partner to care about the way that he
kind of
looks
level.
and the way that he presents. So we're a couple together, and we look banging, and people are like, look, like they're like essentially Jay-Z and Beyonce, but like a B-Tech
That's all I'm looking for.
That's all we can be a power couple
Actually, no,
together.
because Jay-Z cheated.
Oh yeah, he did. So
I ain't got
maybe
no time
they're
for
not
that.
the role. I can't think of a celebrity relationship that's like really like.
Oh, well, now I can't think. Not Ryan Gosling, fucking Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want to be.
That's what I want to be.
He's so funny as well.
He
just
is
makes me crack
hilarious.
up.
But he's like, I actually think he's kind of attractive through the way that he like.
Sexy.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I feel like it makes such a difference. But there is definitely a
Can
fine
laugh a woman
line.
into bed, let me tell you that.
Oh, 100%, 100%. If you are clapped, but your humor is like
Banging.
top notch.
I fancy
So
a
I
bit.
think because I also find like whenever I'm matching with someone on Tinder, someone actually asked it. This is going to be in a future episode, I think, how they can maybe level up on their dating profiles, and I think that would be so interesting as like an episode, kind of what I would personally swipe for. Granted, everyone kind of has their types and like what they're attracted to, but I think that there are certain things that would make me be
Maybe
like,
certain,
you
like,
know what, you
pictures
are
doing
funny,
something,
that you
or-
are funny, like the way that a man pops, if they're literally gonna be like, hey B, I'm like, oh for God's sake, like I heard this, like I actually get the ick from shit like that. I'm like, like, is that all you're gonna say? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, well, that's boring, you know, and
That's boring.
it literally is. I'm like, I've heard this like so many times, but if they come up with a bang ass comment, I'm like, you know what, I didn't think you were that attractive, but now, and that's what's gonna keep me to stay, keep me, what does it make me stay? I cannot speak. Like, that's what's gonna make me stay, and that's the same thing for men. I think initially they're attracted to a woman, they're, you know, they think they want these Instagram models, but they realize like that after, you know, achieving them, right, sometimes there's nothing more to them. It's literally just looks. And I think that at the end of the day, as we've said before, looks fade. It's more about that
Eyes
connection.
Eyes don't age.
Eyes don't age. Look into my eyes.
Into my eyes. Eyes don't age, so what do you think of
So,
mine?
What do you think of mine? This is embarrassing for us.
Embarrassing.
But yeah, I think they were all the kind of points that we were gonna discuss today.
I think it's been a good episode.
I do
Can't wait
think
for the
it's been
feedback.
a lot of waffling and a
Yeah.
lot of quick changing, different
A lot of
topics
things
all
that
the
I've-
time. But
yeah.
sometimes my mind just goes.
I think a lot of people. I'm excited for the input on what people, like the feedback on what people have to say on it. So I think on that note, we're gonna leave it here. I'm looking forward to maybe revisiting some of the things once we've had a bit of feedback.
Definitely. But thank you so much
Thank you
for
so much for
listening.
watching.
everyone,
Watching.
For
I've got to go to work in a minute.
Yeah, to be fair, she does. You need to be
I'm frazzled.
back on it. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube.
Comment,
rate, share. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, please, with a nice comment. If you're going to give us 1 star, please.
Share
just
SisTea.
I don't want that 1 star. Like, we already know we're essentially 6 stars, but Apple
Yeah.
Apple contacted us. They said, "I'm sorry, but we can't rate
We
you
can't
that
just add
high.
another star.
We can't. I know you deserve one, but we cannot add another one."
It's alright.
Oh God.
But yeah, we'll
and
see
also,
you.
We'll see you next
see you
week
next
or in
week.
2 weeks. I don't know.
Who knows?
Hopefully in a week. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. Yeah.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
Bye.